right, so here we are going over the Unit 2 quiz number 4. You need to show work on your test in order to work on your corrections, and that is homework for tonight. Looking at number 1, whenever you have a table, you want to find the change in y over the change in x. So the change here on the y side is everything is going up by 12. And then on the x side, everything is going up by 2. Which, when I looked at your test, a lot of people showed that, but then missed the final step where you have to put them in the ratio of y over x. And when you simplify that, you get 6 over 1, which equals 6. That's why the correct answer is A. The cost increases $6 each time one hamburger is added. On number 2, this was an equation, so you needed to write out your equation and then decide which side do you want the variables on and which side do you want the numbers on. And so once you've decided that, you can start to move things. So this variable is in the wrong place, so I need to take it away from this side. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. X minus x equals 0. And then negative 4x minus x equals negative 5x. And then rewrite your equation. And then I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, my variables are good, but this numbers are on the wrong side. So opposite operation, whatever you do to one side must do to the other. That equals 0. Negative 5x equals 10. And then the final step is you would divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5, so x equals negative 2. That's your final answer. You could have also plugged it in and used substitution, so anytime you saw x, you could try out your answer choices and see which one would be correct, and then you would discover that A was correct in that case also. Number 3, which equation represents the relationship shown in the table below? And so we've got our equation here, y equals mx plus b, and b is the y-intercept. So if I look at my table, I can see that my y-intercept is right there. It's negative 24. So just knowing that alone would give me the correct answer. Number 4, just like number 1, it's a table. So you have to figure out the change in y over the change in x. Change in y over the change in x. And so when you do the subtraction, you would see that the change that's happening each time is 50. And then on the x side, the change that's happening is 2. And so if you write that y over x, you see that that equals 25, but that's not what the question is asking. The question is asking for the beginning balance. So if the table had continued going down by 50 and by 2 each time, how much would he have had at 0 weeks? So that's the question. 125 minus that 50. Oh, what am I doing? 12. Would have given you $75. That's why the correct answer is C. You could also plug it into the y equals mx plus b equation because you know the slope is 25 over 1, and then you could take an x and y value to solve for y-intercept. Number 5, same thing, using our y equals mx plus b, where m is slope and b is the y-intercept. So Faith says that the y-intercept is negative 2, and she would be correct. And Destiny says that the y-intercept is negative 2, and she would be correct. But then if we look at the slope from the y-intercept, Faith says that you count 4 over 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So that would be her first point. Well, if I connect those points, that obviously is not the line that's made on there, so that's Faith's line. And then Destiny says you count up 1 over 2. And that would be her next point. And then up 1 over 2. So while it's going in the right direction, it's not matching. So neither of them were correct. Number 6, 3 times a number increased by 3 is equal to 30. So 3 times a number, that's 3x, increased, meaning plus 3, is equal to 30. So there's your equation, and then you've got to solve it. Obviously, this has to be your number side because there's only numbers there, and then this has to be your variable side. So all I've got to do is move the number, minus 3 gives me 0. 3x equals 27. And then you're going to divide by 3, x equals 9. Number 7, if the value of y varies directly, so this is what we were talking about just the day before the test was direct variation. If the value of y varies directly with x and y equals 84 when x equals 7, so k times 7, what is the value of x when y equals 156? So first you have to figure out the direct variation. So divide by 7. Right, so when you divide 84 by 7, you get 12. So that means k equals 12. Then you can plug it into this equation. 156 is y equals k, which is 12, times, now you're looking for x. Divide by 12, x equals 13. Number 8, looking at the graph. Given the information in the graph, how can the slope of the line be determined? Well, we know it's y over x, which we know y goes up and down, and x goes left and right. And another word for up and down is vertical. And another word for left and right is horizontal. So then when we look at our answer choices, we know that it's a ratio of vertical to horizontal. So it definitely cannot be C, and it definitely cannot be B, because they're saying horizontal to vertical. So it's between A and D. But you do not need to know the ratio for 2 triangles. You only need to know for 1 triangle. So that is why D is the correct answer. Number 9, it wants you to determine which unit rate. And actually, I made an error when I created the test. And so A or D would have been correct. And a unit rate is a ratio that is simplified to 1. So if she runs 30 laps in 5 minutes, that means that she runs 6 laps in 1 minute. Okay, 6 laps per minute. So that would have been an okay answer choice because it's counting by 3s. So 3, 6, and then over 1, 6 over 1. Or if you had said, okay, they buy 1 dozen donuts, which is 12, for $2, that would have been correct also. So I would have accepted either one. Number 10, graph the equation y equals 6x. And again, y equals mx plus b, 6x, right? We don't know the y, or we have a y-intercept and it's 0. So we start there. Our rise is 6, our run is 1. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over 1. That's our first point. You can go in the other direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 1. And when you connect those, that's what your graph should have looked like. Number 11, same thing, y equals mx plus b. On the y-intercept, or on the y-axis, it is crossing at positive 45. So that eliminates A, because A says that the y-intercept is 0. And then I'm looking for the slope. So I know that it's counting down by 5s. So it's going from one point to the other. So you have to find another point on the graph. And then you count 5, 10, 15. That's my change in y. And then it's going over by 1s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's the negative slope. When I simplify that, I get 3 over 1, and again that's negative, so my slope is negative 3x plus 45. So that's why C is the correct answer. And then the last question, you need to turn both company A and company B into an algebraic expression. So company A is charging $20 per hour plus a $15 service fee. And company B is charging $15 an hour plus a $20 service fee. So when I write them equal to each other, it's 20x plus 15 equals 15x plus 20. There is no subtraction happening anywhere in the problem. So that should have been a gimme answer because there's no subtraction because it says plus. All right, hopefully you've showed your work and you're ready to make your corrections to your quiz.